I'm based in Dubai over here. So for today's talk, what I've done is I've selected two production grade implementations that we've done in the financial regulation and supervision space. So the first is a platform called UAE Trade Connect, UTC for short. UAE Trade Connect is a platform that is a consortium of 9 of the biggest banks in UAE. And it is a platform that is being championed by the national telco over here. The name of the telco is Etisalat. Basically, what we're trying to do here is to solve a problem of financial crime risks and duplicate invoice financing frauds in the country. We have a big, a history of financial frauds over here, where a trader would seek double financing against a trade of or invoice and then would disappear from the country. So this is a consortium of banks that has come together, and obviously, like I said, it is being championed by a neutral entity, state-owned entity, the national telco. The platform is very, very interesting. It uses a bunch of emerging technologies such as blockchain. There's a lot of machine learning that happens, and I'll tell you why we're using machine learning models over here. Obviously, we need to look at a lot of trade documents, use a lot of OCR, and then we use a lot of bots to basically crawl over the web and figure out the legitimacy of the underlying trade or invoice. So in a nutshell, basically the solution is a decentralized model where every bank has their own blockchain node. A bank would upload their invoice data or trade data onto their blockchain node through an API that is exposed to them. There's a web-based interface as well, which we've used for testing, and basically during the testing phases when the banks were not ready with their APIs. So once this information is uploaded onto the bank's blockchain node, it is then replicated across all the bank's blockchain node as hashes, because we have to maintain customer confidentiality. And you also understand that these are competing banks basically. So one bank's information cannot be visible to the other. But to maintain the sanctity of data and immutability of data, we have to replicate the hashes across all the nodes. The interesting thing happens on the centralized node, the champion entities node, which is Etisalat's node. This is where the entire trade and invoice data is run through an analysis engine. People who do these kind of frauds, they would change the invoices data when they present it to bank A or to bank B. So straight matching would not work. That is why we use a lot of fuzzy matching. We use a lot of object detection models. We've come across fraud cases where no two fields of the two invoices matched, but it was from the logo of the company or the stamp of the company or signatures that we could figure out that, yes, it's the same company or same trader that's trying to seek double financing. Then we do a lot of price checks. People who do these kind of frauds tend to inflate the invoice value. They'd want to, there are cases of over invoicing. In some cases, there are fictitious buyers or sellers. So there's a lot of crawling that happens within the system, because we have personas of products as well as traders, which we basically evaluate. And then we use third-party market sources as well. The outcome is that the system generates a score, which tells the bank whether they should or they should not finance this particular trade. And then this main score has a lot of other components in terms of different weightages for different types of risks. So it's a very comprehensive report that the system generates. And then the bank takes a decision whether they would like to finance this trade or not finance this trade. We've used Hyperledger Fabric to do this. Right now, we are in a parallel run phase. We are towards the tail end. Our testing and everything is done. We are supposed to go live by the end of this month. There's some service level agreement that is going on between Etisalat and the banks, for which we are waiting, but we are all set to go live. So hopefully by the end of this month, or maximum by the first week of April, this system would be live. And then in addition to these 9 banks, there are another 4 top tier banks of UAE that are going to join this platform. So this is a system that solves a real industry problem. There was a big gap in the industry where the banks were very skeptical of extending this kind of financing to their customers, corporates. And on the other hand, because of a few bad cases, the corporates were not seeking as much financing. So this project is being seen as a catalyst to the economic activity in the country. So the impact is not just to some SMEs, it has a much bigger ambition and objectives. These are some of the screenshots of the system. Like I said, we have a web-based UI as well, which is used to generate different types of scores. But a lot of banks don't use this web UI, they use API. So there's a lot of plumbing work that's happened at the back end. So yeah, this is one of the platforms that I wanted to share. If you want to read more on this platform, it is available as a case study on our website, avanzainnovations.com. There's a very interactive video there as well, so you can go through it and look at the details of this platform, or reach out to me through Avanza Innovations if you want to know anything more about this platform. The second platform or the implementation that I want to discuss with you today is Bank Trust Network. This is again a national vehicle which is used to exchange different types of documents between the banks. So when we were building this platform, we did our research and we figured out that there are 150 types of documents that are exchanged between banks on a daily basis. And these are still paper-based documents. So you're talking about your demand drafts and bank guarantees and clearance letters and LCs. So this leg of banking is still not automated and for some reason still not become paperless. Whereas a lot of consumer-facing activities have become paperless in a lot of parts of the world. So basically, this is a very straightforward platform which enables banks to share documents with one another through a digital vehicle. When I say share documents, I don't mean scanned PDFs. Obviously, I mean the data of those documents, such as bank guarantees, LCs, demand drafts, is shared between banks to the beneficiary and the beneficiary's banks. So we use a lot of zero knowledge proof over here as well. So for example, if a bank has issued a performance bond, the beneficiary or the beneficiary's bank of that performance bond or bank guarantee can log on to this platform, and by giving certain attributes of this platform, of this document, such as the expiry date, beneficiary name, amount, they can see whether such kind of a document exists in the system or not. So again, both these examples are the kind of solutions that could not have been done in a centralized model. You could not have a bureau that expects all the banks to dump all their invoices or all their documents in a centralized repository. Every bank obviously holds their own data. Both these products are GDPR compliant. There's a lot of weightage and emphasis given to customer consents and customer rights. In some cases, we've also sought endorsement from the central bank and the regulator, because sharing customer data is a sensitive topic. So both these products are available in UAE. They're being run, and like I said, they're both production grade implementations. So I think I finished before my allocated time. So that is all I had to present. Thank you very much.